Okay, let's talk about a quiet crisis that pretty much every business is facing right now. Your customers, right? They can range from baby boomers who still really value a firm handshake, all the way to Gen Z, who would honestly much rather talk to a chatbot. So, the big question is, how do you serve all of them without alienating, well, someone? That is the exact puzzle we're going to solve today.
I mean, just look at this contrast. On one side, you have a boomer who walks into a bank branch to build trust face-to-face. They want things explained clearly. They want to feel secure. And on the other side, a Gen Z customer who expects a completely seamless, instant app experience and absolutely dreads the idea of making a phone call. We're talking about the same bank, but these are two completely different worlds with wildly different needs.
So this all boils down to one really critical question. Is your service model actually ready for both of these people? Because if the answer is no, you're not just falling behind, you're leaving customers behind too.
To bridge this huge divide, we first have to understand what we're calling the generational service gap. It's the reason why that old one-size-fits-all playbook, it's just broken. We can't treat every customer the same because their unique life experiences have shaped completely different expectations of what good service even looks like.
So let's break this down. At a high level, you can see the core DNA of each generation. Boomers, they're relationship-driven. They want that personalized attention. Then you've got the pragmatic Gen Xers, who just demand efficiency and transparency. Tech-savvy millennials, they expect proactive updates across every single channel. And for Gen Z, the true digital natives, it is all about seamless, instant self-service. 4 generations, 4 very distinct mindsets.
So how in the world do you build a service model that works for all of them? Well, it's going to require a new framework. We call it the 4 Ps of excellence, and it's a universal model designed to help you structure your entire service strategy around your actual customers, not just your products. Okay, so this framework has 4 key pillars. First, personalization. That means seeing the individual, not just a demographic bucket. Next is proactivity, which is all about solving problems before your customer even knows they have one. Third is presence, which simply means being where your customers are, whether that's a physical branch or, TikTok. And finally, purpose. This is about connecting on a deeper level through shared values, which, let me tell you, is absolutely critical for younger generations. Now, the real power of the 4 Ps is in how adaptable they are. For example, personalization for a boomer might just be hearing their name used on a phone call, but for Gen Z, it's a perfectly customized app interface that feels like it was made just for them. Proactivity for a millennial is a smart, predictive offer, but for a Gen Zer, it might just be a simple, no-nonsense guide for their next step. The principle is the same, but the execution is totally tailored.
All right, so with the 4 Ps as our guide, it's time to get tactical. Let's open up the generational playbook. This is where we get into exactly how we can delight each and every customer, no matter when they were born.
First up, we've got the baby boomers, who I like to call the relationship builders. For this generation, service isn't just a transaction, it's a real connection, and it has to be built on a foundation of genuine trust.
They're going to prefer those traditional channels, right? A branch visit, a phone call, maybe an in-person meeting. The tone has to be respectful, patient, and super clear. For them, reliability and personal trust are everything. If you really want to delight them, think high touch. A handwritten note or a proactive follow-up call from their dedicated manager can make all the difference in the world.
Okay, next up we have Gen X, the ultimate pragmatists. This is the generation that is independent, super efficient, and they value their time more than pretty much anything else. Gen X is totally comfortable with websites and call centers, as long as the tone is straightforward and focused on solving the problem. Their key drivers are convenience and consistency. You can delight them with a clean, simple process, but, and this is important, always give them an easy escape hatch to a real person if things go wrong. Just respect their time and you will earn their loyalty.
Now for the digital evaluators, millennials. They didn't just adopt technology, they literally grew up with it. So for them, the digital and physical worlds aren't separate things. They expect a seamless blend of both.
You'll find them on mobile apps, social media, and chat, where a friendly, conversational tone just works best. They're driven by 2 main things: speed and personalization. So, to win them over, you need things like instant chatbot support, proactive alerts that anticipate their next move, and maybe even offers that align with their social and environmental values. And finally, that brings us to the true digital natives, Gen Z. For this generation, there's really no distinction between their online life and their offline life. It's all just life.
You've got to meet them where they are, mobile, WhatsApp, even TikTok and Instagram. And your tone needs to be authentic, informal. Corporate speak is an instant turnoff. Their loyalty is one with a seamless user experience and radical authenticity. To really delight them, you've got to think outside the box, gamify the experience, offer instant cash back, and provide support that feels more like getting advice from a trusted creator than a company.
Okay, so we've got these playbooks in hand. Now it's time to pull it all together and build a coherent, future-ready strategy. Let's move from all this theory into some concrete action.
The cultural shift that's required here is, well, it's profound. We have to move away from that old, one-size-fits-all, heavily scripted model. The new playbook is all about personalized experiences, an authentic tone, and proactive engagement that actually focuses on the real-life moments your customers are going through.
So where do you start? Here are 4 key actions. First, build real insight by looking at customer behavior, not just their age. Second, redesign your service journeys to be hybrid, blending that digital efficiency with a human touch. Third, and this is so important, train your teams in things like digital empathy and cross-generational communication. And finally, create feedback loops so you can measure what's working for each generation, allowing you to constantly adapt and improve.
And all of this leaves us with one final crucial question. As you look at your own business, I want you to ask yourself this: which generation are you unintentionally ignoring? The answer to that question, well, it isn't just a data point, it's where your most important work begins.